Hey y'all, this is Forrest with TNFlies, and I'm going to be showing you how I tie this chenille worm. This is with a pretty cheap chenille, but I'm going to show you some tricks you can use to make it work out pretty well. I've got a bunch of chenille I got in a bundle off of Amazon. I'll show you some of the colors here. Like, you get all this for like real cheap price. Of course, it's pretty cheap chenille. We're gonna be tying with this bubblegum looking pink. That, the white and the brown I use. Okay. So you've probably tied up a chenille worm before. If not, I highly recommend using the chenille over a squirmy material. There are different types of squirmy material, some better than others, but you know, if you're going to be fishing in the heat, or if you're ever going to accidentally leave your your fly box in your car, you're going to want to have chenille worms rather than the squirmy. Squirmy, I'd say, fishes better, just does not hold better. And so we're going to be showing you a way to fish well and also store your flies well. I had a really good day yesterday. I haven't really been posting that much. I hadn't been able to fish as much as I'd like to. Really, if I'm going to make a fly time video, I want to have fish the fly. I've been fishing these for a while now. Pretty still water conditions as well as fast moving water conditions. And two different bodies of water, or rivers. The Obi River and the Caney. I've used these recently, but you know, I've used them out in East Tennessee as well a lot. So just starting off with a wholesale fly company, model 27. This is their size 16 jig hook. It's a 60-degree short BL jig hook. I like the size 16s. I also go to a 14 often. If I'm going to tie a 14, of course I'm going to have a longer worm. I like to have 16 hooks. I really enjoy the size 16. And these are the slotted tungsten silver beads. So putting that on there. I've got some cheaper GSP I got. This is just in white. Which, if you don't leave a whole bunch of collar there, it's almost not even noticeable with all the pink. So just went ahead and put a little bit of thread on here. And I put that in position. Move it around a little bit. I'm going to take a decent piece of chenille, probably like that long, because we're going to end up using this as the worm as well as the body to cover up our thread wraps. And the trick I like to use is I'll take some really thin wire. See, that's very thin. Cut that, and I'm going to bend it and poke it through our slotted bead. Stick my scissors in there and open them up. Okay. Poke our chenille through, and it should be real easy to pull it through if you got a good sized bead. Might pull a little chenille off, but that'll be fine because we're gonna end up searing that. Now this is a little long, kind of about here. Then we're gonna put some thread wraps to secure our tungsten bead. 3 millimeter. I don't know if I said that. Okay, and then we got that there. We're going to take the chenille that we cut off. Try to not cut our thread on the point of the hook. Okay. And I'm out of super glue. I'm just going to put a little bit of Solaris bone dry in there. Don't want to spill that. Okay, get this mess out of the way. Then we're just going to, of course, wrap that chenille we tied in. For me here, that was about 6 wraps of that. Cut that off close to the base. Probably gonna have some loose chenille fibers there. You can try to rub off. Then simple whip finish. Probably do a couple. Okay. Gonna throw a little bit more bone dry on the threads. You could use any kind of UV resin, to be honest. There's going to be 2 types of resin we want to use, really. If you wanted to go that route, you could use a hard and a soft. I've been using this bone dry and just lightly touching it. Because what we're going to do next... Get a candle over here. Whenever I'm tying these, I'll usually just light a candle. And we're going to use that to melt our chenille so it does not come off of the thread it's on as easily, and also give it a slight taper. Okay, so you'll see here, bring it a little close. Ooh, be real careful with this step because you can waste all your progress. You can also try to set in a curl here. If you did have any curls, you could twist up your chenille, and when you hit it with that flame, it will curl a bit, and that can give you some good movement in the water. Alright, well, dogs barked and they might do it again. So, let's get back in the camera here. You want to have that slight taper at the end of your chenille where it melts. And also, at the same time, you want to have it kind of melt the chenille slightly on the body itself, just so it all stays together a little better. I think that's pretty good. Oh, there they go again. Okay, I'm not done yet. You also want to do the same with the body, but be very careful to not get the ends. I'm going to hold that to the flame a little bit. Okay. And do the same with the inside of the fly. This is all just to help it stay together more so you don't lose any of that loose, cheap chenille. I think it helps with the look a little bit too. So, kind of hard to tell, but got that slightly melted together. I'm gonna get back on the vise. Okay, so what I'll often do is also strengthen this up with a little bit of UV resin. You could use a soft resin. I just got this bone dry here still, so I'm going to just use light touches of that. We're going to be hitting a little heavier on the inside. We want to make sure that it will not get roughed up too bad whenever a fish is hooked. Tiny little trout teeth. Touch the tips. Soak in a little bit there. And I find that if you got a little bit of this resin on the tips, it actually helps it flop around just a little bit more. It's got like a slight bit of weight. And to make sure that it does not come back onto itself, put a light touch right on the base where it comes from the bead and where it comes from the back of the hook bend. This will help keep it from fouling as much, and also helps it stand out and look like a full worm. If you're not doing this, sometimes with this kind of light, cheap chenille, it can fold onto itself, so then you got like 2 strands of worm laying over on top of its hook. So it's just kind of riding like that. I don't think it looks as nice as a worm. It's flopping through the current, you know. There we go. Poor man's chenille worm. Man, I mean, if you're fishing something all day, it's productive, and then it just stops working, throw one of these on, and I'd say you have a pretty good chance of finding this fish again. It's been Forrest with TNFlies. Thanks for watching.